called Asperger's. Yeah, weird. And I think that's just a horrible name for a mental condition. I mean, you see others, and they sound like unfortunate situations. Down syndrome, leukemia, both sad words. Asperger's, that should be the word for hemorrhoids, I think. Shouldn't it? If you switch that around, like, you wouldn't even have to explain it, right? Like, you could just, like, go to your boss or whoever and be like, hey, boss, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to leave early today. I got them Asperger's. Yeah, it's flaring up. Flame broil back here, I gotta go. Gotta go real quick. Be like, no big deal, man, no big deal. You guys have, now first of all, I wanna say, I love white people, I do. I grew up on white people. Shaggy, Fred, Velma. I love white people. So, but you guys have heard of white guilt, right?
Yeah.
It's like, white people feel bad about stuff like, slavery and apartheid. So they, go to Africa and they help feed the children, and they, travel across the country, and they come to poor neighborhoods in matching t-shirts and plant flowers because that helps. And so there's things like this, but listen guys, white people are not the only ones who have guilt. Black people have guilt too. Okay, I personally have guilt about tipping. Yeah, no, guys, it is well known that black people do not tip. It's true. Like, I even have trouble with it myself. Like, when I'm at a restaurant and it's time to tip, I have to channel my inner white person and just think, just take a deep breath and think, what would Tom Cruise do? Oh my God, okay, 20%. And then I look around and I count the black people and I add another $1 for all of them because I know they're gonna stiff at the end of the night. It's bad. You guys, the next comedian coming to the stage, all the way from Topeka, Kansas. He is tall, dark, and hilarious. His name is Toby Lunn.
Yes. Mr. Toby Lunn.
Thanks, Albert. We all know that moment at the party when the macaroni salad shows up. Do you ever wonder when somebody's got that bowl and they put that cold macaroni in it and put mayonnaise on top of that? Do they ever stop for a second and look down and say, all right, I like where this is going? Not if they're honest with themselves, they don't. I know that for some reason we as humanity cling to this mess, and I can't understand it. And some of you might be thinking, he's never had my recipe. I've got grapes in there, basil or rosemary or walnuts or something. Forget about it. Unless your recipe has ambergris or solid gold kitten tears, nobody needs to hear about it. Because every single macaroni salad recipe starts with 4 ingredients, which are cold macaroni, mayonnaise, mediocrity, and sadness. It's very hard to come back from that. I've been married for almost 4 years, and I've learned a dizzying array of things. And I'm going to share some of the highlights with you, especially you single fellas. This is going to help you out. The big one right off is, if you want to impress a woman, put the guitar down, forget about the motorcycle, invest right now in avocado. What you want to do, the lady, you invite her to a light lunch. Nobody really knows what a light lunch is in this woman's mind. All I know is as long as it's not pizza or cheeseburgers, it'll fall under that heading. So you leave a space on the side of the plate and you put exactly 5 slices of avocado and you slide that plate in front of the lady. And the reaction that's going to follow will be something along the lines of, oh, avocado. How did you know I love avocado? And you're going to see a picture of that plate later on Instagram or something. it's going to work out great for you. The other thing I want to warn you about is if you have a disposal and a woman in the same house, there will come a moment when you're walking into your kitchen and the lady is putting like an entire pineapple rind or an old shoe, bowling pin into the disposal. And you can try to break in like I once foolishly did and say, hey, that whole pineapple rind has got to go through most of the plumbing of the house in pretty big chunks. I'm worried about how this is going to work out. Forget it. As far as she is concerned, as she's jamming that pineapple rind in there, is that there's a black hole in that machine that is going to collapse that pineapple rind into a one-dimensional object and send it back in time. And you're not going to win that argument. I've learned. This last thing about women I'm going to share, I did not learn through marriage, thankfully, which is that women can get kidney stones. I thought that was just a guy thing. I didn't know. I'm not a doctor, but I'm kind of like, why is this a big deal? Seems like for a woman passing a kidney stone is just having a tiny sharp baby. I love animals dearly. I'm very glad to see that people are becoming a little more aware of the plight of animals in our world. For me, this compassion comes out in concern about purebred dogs. I like to think there was a time, sometime in dogs' history before man got involved, that all dogs were like wild dogs, running free, just energetic, poetry in motion animal, right? Two guys were sitting on their porch, and one of them was like, I'll bet with selective breeding pressure we can improve on that. His buddy was like, really? Do you think we can take that and turn it into a tube that drools perpetually and can barely walk? If we put our minds to it, I think we can. I said, wait, this is hilarious. Could we get it so that it can trip on its own ears? We're gonna try. Okay. Maybe I'm asking for too much. Can we make it so it can't swim? Dunzo. Okay. Could we take what we've got right now and miniaturize it so that it can go down a hole and fight a badger? You are on fire! And that's how we ended up with the dachshund. It really is a shame that we just bred congenital misery into an animal. It's like printed on his DNA. Like everything that was great about being a dog is gone. If you want to sell an expensive watch to a man, the word you're going to want to remember is chronograph. Okay? You can sell me a watch. Okay? You can sell me a watch. But if you've got a guy who frequently uses the phrase, work hard, play hard, or owns a Camaro, you want to think about using the word chronograph. I used to think that was the top. It's not even close. There is a spectrum. Above chronograph, you're targeting the guy who maybe owns a yacht, and you're going to use the word timepiece. Okay? Above that, there is another level, which blew my mind when I learned about it. Like, timepiece is ridiculous enough, but there are people who are interested in buying wrist instruments. This is the guy who owns like a World War II plane. It's a very small market, but wrist instrument is the word you want to use. The weird thing is this does not apply to women at all. For men it goes watch, chronograph, timepiece, wrist instrument. For women it goes watch. The world works on my time. You probably noticed that when people want James Bond to tell them something, they go to just really elaborate lengths. You know, they'll actually build a laser just to point at his man stuff. They'll, tie him to a speedboat and pull him through a reef or something, and it never works. You know, they spend thousands of dollars setting it up, it doesn't work. What I want to see in the next James Bond movie is they tie him to a chair, they take his shoes off, and they'd push his socks in between each of his toes and put his shoes back on. If that were me, I would break in less than 5 minutes. Yeah, you just imagine 007, he shows back up at the office after this, and he's like, "They broke you, James." What was it, James? Did they pull out your fingernails? My socks. They put my socks between my toes. And they're like, monster. Thanks, everyone.
Hey, boy, Tobes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Toby Lunn. Toby, this is your second time? Number 2, second time on stage. Give him another hand. Really cool when I say give him a hand and you just do it. That's so awesome. I love that. You guys, I have a few questions about the world. How come, okay, you know they have those AA meetings. Why is it when you go to an AA meeting, the first thing they make you do is stand up and give your name? That's not anonymous. Like, I walk in and people are like looking at me weird because I'm wearing a mask, and I'm like, no, I'm not telling you my name. And why? How come I'm the only one wearing a mask? This is stupid. This is so weird. Call me when you learn the meaning of anonymous. It's on Wikipedia. I did send a decoy in though, and he's been sober about 8 months, so I'm really proud of him. Give him a hand. Right, y'all held back a little bit at that time. I probably should have mentioned that. You guys, it's not hard to see why people get stuck on, drugs and alcohol, whatever. Here's the answer. Real life sucks. That's right. Let me hear you say it. Real life sucks. It's true. Look, movies are awesome, and movies are continually making real life look bad. And it's just messed up. See, in the movie, like if you're in a tight spot somewhere and you need to make a jump, you're gonna freaking make it. You're gonna make it, no problem. In real life, professional athletes trip over air. It's like, God dang, put that air there. Ow. Don't act like you never seen a Chiefs game. That's where I'm going. Another example is people like, Jackie Chan, Bruce Willis, they can be in just terrible situations, all right? Just survive thousands of attempts on their life, okay? In real life, people are dying of stupidity, all right? This is why I know it. There's a show about it. It's called 1,000 Ways to Die. And they just tell stories about dumb people who, die of doing something stupid. And here's a scenario from the show. The bad thing about it is a lot of these scenarios end with something like going up somebody's butt and like killing them. Like you didn't even know that you could die of that, but it happens. It's messed up. Just stuff ruptured, bursting areas, and that's it's gross. But this is like real life stuff. And it happens. And I was just thinking, like, oh, actually, who's our next comedian? Uh-oh. I got it. Okay. Your next comedian coming to the stage.